Welcome everyone! In today's video, let's follow a young man as he sets out to build a cozy wooden cabin from scratch. Watch as he turns raw materials into a peaceful retreat perfectly prepared for the coming winter holidays. Stay tuned until the end to see the beautiful result. To begin the construction, he teams up with a friend to lay the foundation for the cabin. Concrete pillars will be placed underneath to support the entire building. They dig and pour cement into holes, compacting it firmly to ensure the base is solid and stable, preventing any future sinking or shifting of the cabin. Once the cement sets, they place heavy concrete blocks on top, forming the sturdy foundation that will hold up the wooden structure to come. Once the concrete pillars are firmly in place, he begins the next step, constructing the base of the cabin floor. He carefully selects thick, sturdy wooden beams and places them across the tops of the concrete blocks. Each beam is measured and positioned with precision to ensure the frame is level and strong. As he lays them down one by one, the skeleton of the floor slowly takes shape. This wooden framework marks a crucial stage in the build, setting the foundation for everything that will be built above it. With the wooden frame for the floor securely in place, he moves on to the next step, insulating the base. He carefully inserts thick insulation foam panels between the wooden beams. These panels will help retain warmth inside the cabin, making it more comfortable during the cold winter months. Once the insulation is laid out evenly, he begins covering the entire surface with large wooden planks. One by one, the boards are aligned, trimmed, and fastened tightly onto the frame, forming a smooth and sturdy floor. This marks a major milestone in the construction. The foundation of the cabin is now complete, both solid and well insulated. To construct the walls of the cabin, he begins by preparing individual wooden frames on the ground. Using strong timber beams, he carefully measures and cuts each piece, then joins them together to create the structure of a wall. Instead of building the entire wall at once, he chooses to work section by section, crafting each frame separately. This method allows him to ensure precision and stability before raising them upright. Once a frame is completed, he lifts it into position and secures it to the floor structure. Then he returns to the workbench to build the next section. Slowly but surely, one frame after another goes up. With every new wall segment added, the cabin starts to take shape, its silhouette becoming more visible and defined. He connects the frames tightly, reinforcing the corners and joining the pieces together to form a sturdy and continuous wall around the structure. As he works, he pays close attention to the layout of the interior. He deliberately leaves gaps within the wall frames to serve as future windows and the main doorway. These openings are not just functional. They are thoughtfully placed to allow sunlight to filter in and to provide a welcoming entrance to the cabin. By the end of this stage, the wooden skeleton of the house stands tall and secure, giving a clear sense of the space that will soon become a warm and peaceful retreat. With the wall frames now firmly secured in place, he moves on to enclosing the cabin. He selects large, flat wooden boards, each one wide and smooth, to cover the entire exterior of the wall structure. Carefully lifting each panel into position, he aligns them with the frames and begins fastening them securely, one by one. The boards are attached tightly to ensure there are no gaps or loose edges, creating a seamless and sturdy outer surface. As the work progresses, the cabin slowly transforms from a skeletal frame into a solid enclosed structure. The exposed beams and open spaces are gradually replaced by smooth wooden surfaces, giving the cabin a finished, protective shell. With the walls now fully enclosed, he turns his attention to constructing the roof. At the top of both the front and back wall frames, he installs a long horizontal beam. This will act as the central ridge of the roof. Carefully measuring and securing it into place, he ensures it sits firmly between the two ends of the structure, forming the highest point of the roof line. Once the ridge beam is in position, he begins attaching angled rafters along wooden beams that run diagonally from the ridge down to the top edges of the side walls. Each rafter is measured, cut, and installed with precision, creating the distinctive sloped shape of the roof. These diagonal beams are arranged symmetrically on both sides, forming a strong triangular framework that evenly distributes the weight of the roof. As more rafters are added, the skeletal outline of the roof becomes clear. It not only defines the cabin's final form, but also adds vertical height and a sense of shelter. With the main structure of the cabin taking shape, he shifts his focus to building the front porch, a welcoming extension that adds both function and charm to the cabin. Though simple in design, the porch adds warmth and personality to the front of the cabin, making it feel more complete and inviting. To support the roof above the front porch, he prepares two solid wooden posts. He carefully selects strong, durable beams, then saws them to the exact height needed. These posts will act as the main supports for the extended roof section that will cover the porch area. As the posts rise from the porch floor, they immediately add a sense of structure and symmetry to the entrance. More than just practical supports, they begin to shape the character of the cabin's facade, giving it a balanced, welcoming look and setting the stage for the next step, building the roof that will shelter the porch below. With the roof frame securely in place, he begins the process of enclosing it to provide full coverage and protection from the elements. To do this, he selects large wooden boards sturdy and flat to cover the open spaces between the rafters. One by one, he lifts the boards up onto the sloping frame and carefully positions them along the roofline. As he nails them into place, the gaps in the skeletal roof gradually disappear, replaced by a smooth wooden surface that will later be sealed and weatherproofed. After securing all the wooden boards to form the roof surface, he moves on to the crucial step of waterproofing. To protect the cabin from rain and moisture, he covers the entire roof with a durable waterproof membrane. With the waterproof membrane firmly in place, he begins installing the final roofing material corrugated metal sheets. One by one, he lifts the sheets up and aligns them along the slope of the roof, securing them tightly with screws. The metal panels not only add an extra layer of protection, but also give the cabin a clean, finished look that reflects the light and sheds water easily. With the main sections of the roof complete, he turns his attention to the remaining open areas, the triangular gables at the front and back of the cabin, just beneath the roof peaks. With the exterior walls fully enclosed by wooden planks, he moves on to an important step protecting the cabin from moisture and damp weather. To do this, he wraps the entire outer surface of the walls with a waterproof membrane. Carefully unrolling the material, he begins attaching it around the house, starting from one corner and working his way around. The membrane is applied tightly against the wooden walls, with each strip slightly overlapping the previous one to ensure complete coverage. In the remaining windows on the wall frame, he began installing glass windows. He chose clear glass panels, each mounted in a sturdy metal frame. These prefabricated windows were carefully lifted and installed into the windows, one by one. With steady hands, he aligns each window with the frame he had built earlier, ensuring a snug and precise fit. Once in place, he secures them tightly using screws and sealing materials to keep out wind and moisture. The transparent glass panels not only brighten the interior by letting in natural light, but also create a visual connection between the cozy inside and the surrounding landscape. With the windows securely in place, he turns his attention to the main entrance of the cabin. Once satisfied with the alignment, he fastens the hinges securely and installs the latch and locking mechanism. The moment the door clicks shut for the first time, a sense of completion begins to settle in. With the exterior structure complete and the cabin now sealed, he moves on to installing electricity, an essential step to bring comfort and functionality to the space. He runs insulated electrical cables from an external power source toward the house, guiding them through secure conduits to protect the wires from weather and damage. Once the cables reach the cabin, he feeds them through the walls, neatly threading them behind the wooden panels to keep everything tidy and hidden. With the electrical system in place, he begins insulating the interior to ensure the cabin stays warm and energy efficient, especially during the cold winter months. He starts with the walls, gently filling the empty spaces between the wooden frames with thick layers of insulation wool. Once the walls are filled, he moves on to the ceiling. Climbing up, he repeats the process by laying the same insulation between the roof rafters, making sure there are no empty spots. This step is especially important, as a significant amount of heat can escape through the roof if it's left uninsulated. After installing the insulation, he takes an extra step to ensure the cabin interior is fully protected from moisture. Over the insulated walls and ceiling, he carefully adds a layer of waterproof nylon sheeting. This vapor barrier will help prevent any moisture from seeping into the insulation or wooden structure, protecting the cabin from mold, rot, and long-term damage. Turning his attention back to the exterior walls, he begins adding the final wooden cladding to give the cabin both protection and visual character. He uses thinly sliced wooden planks that still have their natural bark edges intact, bringing out rich, earthy tones and organic textures that blend beautifully with the surrounding landscape. The cladding is applied in 2 layers. For the first layer, he installs vertical planks spaced evenly apart across the entire outer wall. Each board is carefully aligned and fixed in place, leaving consistent gaps between them. Then for the second layer, he returns with another set of planks, this time positioning them to cover the open gaps left by the first. This overlapping method not only enhances the rustic aesthetic, but also provides an additional shield against wind and rain, allowing water to run off easily without seeping into the walls. As the work progresses, the cabin takes on a unique and striking appearance. The contrast between the smooth wood grain and the rugged bark gives the walls depth and warmth. Moving back inside the cabin, he begins working on the interior floor. To give the space a clean and finished look, he decides to install a layer of wood-patterned vinyl flooring. This type of flooring not only mimics the warm, natural appearance of real wood, but is also practical, resistant to moisture, and easy to clean, making it ideal for a small cabin. As each piece is laid down, the room is gradually transformed. The floor takes on a polished, cozy look, with the vinyl's wood grain texture adding warmth and style to the interior. With the floor finished, he turns his attention to covering the interior walls and ceiling, bringing a sense of warmth and completion to the inside of the cabin. To do this, he chooses smooth, sanded wooden planks that will give the space a clean and natural look. Each plank is carefully cut and prepared, with soft, even surfaces that highlight the natural grain of the wood. Starting at the base of the walls, he begins installing the planks horizontally, fitting each one tightly against the next. He works patiently, moving row by row, making sure the boards align perfectly to create a seamless finish. There are no gaps, each piece sits snugly, forming a continuous wooden surface that stretches from one end of the wall to the other. Once the walls are complete, he moves on to the ceiling, applying the same technique. The smooth planks climb upward, wrapping the space in warm wood tones and giving the cabin a cozy, handcrafted feel. As he finishes the last section, the transformation is remarkable. The once exposed frame and insulation are now fully concealed, replaced by beautifully finished surfaces that make the interior feel welcoming, polished, and complete. With the interior walls, ceiling, and floor now beautifully finished, he moves on to one of the most important features for winter living, installing a heater inside the cabin. With the heater now in place, he takes time to clean the entire interior. He sweeps up wood dust, clears away leftover scraps, and wipes down surfaces, removing all traces of the construction process. As he begins furnishing the cabin, one of the first and most essential pieces he focuses on is the bed. Wanting to make the most of the limited space while also providing extra sleeping room, he decides to build a sturdy wooden bunk bed. Using thick, solid beams for the frame, he carefully measures and cuts each piece to ensure both stability and comfort. He constructs the lower bed frame first, reinforcing it with cross supports to prevent any wobbling. Then he adds the upper bunk, securing it tightly with strong joints and thick wooden posts at each corner. Every part is sanded smooth and fitted precisely, giving the bed a clean, handcrafted finish. Once complete, the bunk bed stands tall and solid, ready to provide cozy rest for anyone staying in the cabin. This addition not only maximizes the room's sleeping capacity, but also adds to the cabin's warm, functional charm, perfect for family stays or hosting friends during the winter holidays. He begins by spreading soft bedding across the mattresses, adding thick blankets, warm quilts, and fluffy pillows that bring a sense of comfort and restfulness to the room. He adds a small sofa to complete the living area. It's compact, just the right size for the cabin, and placed strategically near the heater to create a comfortable spot for relaxing. As the last steps of the build draw near, he turns his attention to the finishing touches, those small but meaningful details that bring the entire cabin to life. Starting with the windows, he carefully installs trim around each frame. With the structure now fully complete, he begins decorating the space. He adds simple but thoughtful elements, perhaps a few handmade wooden shelves on the walls, a lantern hanging by the door, and a small rug on the floor to warm up the space. As he steps back and looks around, the transformation is clear. What began as a bare frame of wood has now become a complete, inviting home ready to welcome the quiet of winter and the peace of nature. Thank you for accompanying him on this journey. If you like, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription so you don't miss the next videos. Goodbye and see you again.